Greetings YouTube. Today's video starts outside. First we have this burner. It's a gas-powered burner. It needs a little bit of modification. There's a bracket that needs to be reinforced, and it probably needs a new hose, but it was $3. So I may be needing some heat for some future projects. And until I get a forge, make a forge rather, this is going to provide that. We have these bolts. Very, very large bolts. These are for cables, very big cables. I only plan on buying 2 of them. I had planned on buying 2 this size over here. Then the guy offered me a deal of all of them for $2. These are really expensive bolts, and I knew I could find something to do with them eventually. This big one here and this little one here are going to end up going into weapons projects immediately. In fact, as I'm filming this in the morning and I just got home from work, because I plan on taking them with me today as I begin my day, so that I can get the hardware so that I can begin the project I'm going to do. It's going to be a fast project because this is going to be a pretty easy build, and so I'm kind of looking forward to that. So I'm making the small one into a one-handed weapon and the large one into a two-handed weapon. So you'll be seeing that shortly. But yeah, it was a really good deal. $2 for a lot of bolts. And I think I already have an idea for 2 more of them. I need to make a stand for my anvil, and I think I may use the 2 of those as handles so I can move the stand from place to place. More segments outside. First we have this spool of rope, which I got for nothing at an estate sale. They were just giving stuff away in this shed, and if I had needed motors, it would have been the place to go, because he had a dozen motors they were just giving away. I just don't have any need for motors, but some of them are really big. We were talking probably in the 5 to 10 horsepower range. They were massive motors. Giving them away. I just don't need one. But I did pick up some tools, some for myself and some for my friend's toolbox that I am putting together. So over here we have a small pipe wrench, we have a Craftsman channel lock, we have a small level, and this wrench right here, which isn't particularly exciting as far as, like, it's not worth a great deal. It's just an Allied adjustable wrench, but it's in very nice condition. It's got a nice heft weight to it. It's got a nice finish on it. I quite liked it, and I think that these will be useful for a person for a general toolbox. The other tools over here are for myself. We have 2 spring clamps. We have an asymmetric chisel for doing masonry, so you can get right up to a line. And then we have this one, which I really liked both as a tool and as an aesthetic object. I just find it very attractive in its overall shape. It makes me think of a bodkin point from an arrow from the Middle Ages, and I really found that very attractive. And you can see that it was used thoroughly. And this guy who had these tools, it was an entire garage, 2 floors. He was a master craftsman in both metal and wood, and most of the stuff there was just outside my range. I would have loved to have purchased a whole bunch of his bigger tools, but I don't have the cash to do it. But I did want to bring some of his tools with me so that they would be going to someone that would honor them. Not saying that other people aren't, but some people are going to be buying them just to resell them. I know this. I go to lots of estate sales. I go to lots of thrift shops, and lots of people are buying stuff to resell, but I'm not. I'm going to give some of these tools to a friend of mine, and these other ones are going to stay in my collection. And the clamps by themselves are even at a big box store, it's $1 a piece, and I picked up all of this stuff for $5. So I made a really good deal, and I really like the wrenches that my friend's going to get. And everybody can use a small spirit level for household use. You don't need a big one in your average home. This one will be quite adequate for your average apartment dweller, which is what my friend is, an apartment dweller. So now I'm going to bring all this stuff downstairs, and I'm going to start working on a new project. Greetings YouTube, time for another bargain video. First thing we have up is the Young Earth, and I purchased this specifically to keep it out of the hands of anyone who would actually believe this crap. The Real History of the Earth, Past, Present, and Future. Yeah, it's a young Earth creationist track. Absolute BS. I may review it. I'm not positive. I don't know if I can bring myself to actually read the thing. The Stinky Cheese Man and Other Fairly Stupid Tales, which is probably more factual than The Young Earth. Affairs and Scandals in Ancient Egypt. The Bird's Last Song, which is a story we picked up at an estate sale, and I brought it to my wife's attention because it has really great woodcuts. Then we have The Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Newt Scamander from Comic Relief and Scholastic Books. My wife wanted to take a look at that, and again, it was dirt cheap. We have some DVDs. We have California Suite, which is kind of a wacky assembly, even though it's got Bill Cosby in it. The other people I happen to enjoy and respect, so I thought I'd give it a view. Then we have the film Infinity, which I know nothing about. We have the film Europa Report, which I actually think I heard wasn't bad. So I got both of these at a thrift shop. We have Charlie Brown's Christmas Tales. Van Wilder, which wasn't bad, but it kind of missed the mark for me, as it was going for the Animal House vibe, and I think it fell short. I'm going to have to do a review on that one. Save the Last Dance. Benny and June, which I cannot remember if I actually have a copy or not. I can't keep all this in my head sometimes. The TV Set, which I need to do a review of because it's listed as a comedy, and frankly, it wasn't all that funny. It was more pathos than anything. A Field Guide to Ticks, because my wife likes to go outdoors and is kind of terrified of ticks for good reason. The first season of Bionic Woman, and I don't know how many seasons there were. I remember watching the first episode, but I never got any further, so I picked this up for $3 or it might have been, $3 at an estate sale or a yard sale. And then we have Eric Clapton's Unplugged. And here we have The Quest of the Magic Ring from Land of Legend. A game of adventure in mythic Earth for 2 to 7 players, contains regular and advanced rules for ages 12 to adult. So this is a generic ripoff of Tolkien, and I found it at an estate sale for a decent price. I looked it up online, and on eBay it's going for like $70. I'm not going to sell it, but I thought it was kind of interesting to see a generic board game based off of Lord of the Rings, because that those are the adventures right there, folks. On to section 2. We have a heavy cast iron cookie mold, which has apparently never been used. It looks like it hasn't been seasoned or anything, so my wife's going to be able to use that for baking. This is a ceramic container for serving or baking, I'm not sure which, and it is for a wedding gift. And it's got a rustic look. My wife says the people that she wants to give it to will like it. We actually had purchased them something that was smaller than this, but we found this at an estate sale for $10. My wife's like, yeah, we'll get with this one instead. I don't know what we're going to do with the other one. Maybe save it for another wedding. Then we have this LL Bean jacket, which is a petite. It was never been worn. The woman apparently was a compulsive shopper. She would buy multiples of things. So there were like 2 of these on a rack that had never been worn. And I mean, power strips. Dozens and dozens of high-end power strips. Motion-activated lights. You just could not believe the amount of stuff this woman had in her home. It was unbelievable. You couldn't move in some places. I don't know. I don't envy the people when they finally decide to stop having people come in to buy stuff, because it's going to be, you're going to fill up dumpsters full of things with that, or donate it to charity or something. And then we have a miniature Snap-on toolbox, which the guy didn't inspect very well, because he sold me this for $2, and inside are 2 razor blades, an elephant charm, and a Gerber knife. I just thought it was cute. The drawers work, so I may use it as a jewelry box, or just keep it in the basement and keep drill bits or something in it. But I thought it was cute. It's really heavy. I mean, it's like the steel is this kind of steel that you would use to make the regular size toolboxes. They didn't scale the gauge of the steel down, so it's pretty heavy. We have a necklace that came with 2 different, this little stone here, and this loop, and my wife paid $25 for that at a yard sale. And we have a couple of bells. I wasn't sure if my wife had a double person figure. She does, but she likes this one, and it has Nice little note to that. And then we have this one, which has 3 strikers in the inside. That's kind of cool. I think we paid $4 a piece for those in 2 different locations. Then we have a couple of figures here. This one actually rotates slightly. It's fairly static other than that, but it would be great for miniatures. You'll see that in the video. And then this large bug, again, would be great for miniature use. We have this, which came with the case and the little booklet. And this, and it looks like a lighter. It is not a lighter. See if I can do this one-handed. Oh, can I do it? There we go. It's for spraying perfume. It's kind of cool. We're going to a friend of ours as a gift from my wife for her birthday. Then we have a pair of ice skates, which I'm going to remove the skates from, probably throw the shoes away, because I'm going to weaponize those. And I like this particular pair because the back section is just bolted and screwed in place, so that's be easy to get out. These I'm going to have to grind off with my angle grinder, but those will come off. And I'm going to turn that into a weapon. I've been looking for some decent skates for a weapon project, and I finally came upon them at a yard sale. And then we have this set of slippers again from the woman that was a compulsive shopper. It's an Acorn brand. My wife really likes this brand of slipper, the company of shoes, and never worn. They're really nice, in really nice shape. So that was kind of cool. On to section 3. This is going to be a tool-intensive video, so I hope you don't mind, because I get stuff both for myself and for my friend's toolkit that I am putting together as a Christmas gift for her. So for me, I've got this nice extension cord, and I got that from the estate sale with the compulsive shopper, as well as a still sealed outdoor timer. Picked up this for my friend for gauging objects when you're doing nut and bolt things. Handy to have when you're doing around the house stuff. These two I picked up at a community yard sale. They're for laminated floor, and I don't have any need for them at the moment, but for $1 a piece, if I ever need to do any laminated flooring, I'm going to pay way more than that at regular cost. Picked up this container, which mostly I picked this container up as a means of carrying the tools I was collecting at the estate sale with the compulsive shopper. Sure, I got the bungee cord as well, but the container, I will find use for the container. It's not a problem. That'll go in the basement. Again, keep dust and stuff off my tools. This is a hacksaw handle, no blade, but you just put a blade in there. It's useful if you need to get into a really tight place. I have one myself. It's for my friend, as is this clamp. This is a Craftsman hacksaw, and my neighbor was throwing stuff out because they're moving, or they just moved, and so they threw this out, and so I brought it home. I got rid of my Husky, and I'm going to keep this instead. And I also found this in the bottom of the container they had it sitting in. So I took this out so the neighborhood kids would not find it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it now. I don't have anything in that caliber, but yeah. So I thought that was kind of interesting. We have an Imperial pocket knife, kind of like a Boy Scout design. I need to clean that up a little. It'll probably end up in a video. Then we have a small square for my friend. I picked up a Night Eyes flashlight on sale at Harbor Freight for $5.60. It was a weird price. Here we have a Johnson angle tool, so you can transfer an angle from one place to another. This is for my friend. As is this wrench, rather a screwdriver. This flips around. This whole shaft flips around, so you've got 4 different bits built into this. I happen to really like this model, and I picked it up for a song. 2 flashlights here. This is a Innova flashlight. I need new batteries in there, but it looks like it's going to work. And this little one here I picked up at the compulsory shopper's house because it's got her name on it, and it's a cute little light, and it works. I'm not going to tell you her name, but it made me smile knowing that I have something with her name on it. She probably got it off some shopping channel. For my friend, we also have a small clamp. I'd like to get another one of those for her. I get a Craftsman table gun for her. I got this decent quality Coleman hammer. I mean, I don't know why didn't Coleman made tools, but it's a good quality general purpose hammer. A pair of Crescent needle nose pliers for my friend. These are in pretty decent shape. I only paid $1 for them at a flea market. And this hacksaw here is for my friend because it's a little smaller, so it'll fit into the tool kit that I am making for her, all nice and neat and tidy, so we all contain into one box. That's the whole idea, is to get everything into one box so she can just tuck it someplace when she needs it, pulls it out, and you're good to go. Okay, and there's some more tools in the next section. A small ball peen hammer for my friend, because I find ball peen hammers very handy, and this is a scale that I'm quite comfortable with. This is a ball peen hammer size I use all the time. It's like my go-to type of hammer. I actually prefer it over a more conventional claw hammer. This is a wrench for working under your sink on some plumbing. Again, useful if you are living in an apartment or your own home. A small rat tail file for my friend, and a rubber mallet. It's not in perfect shape, but thinking the number of times my friend is probably going to need a rubber mallet, that'll be perfect for her. And then a plastic speed square, because these are very handy, and I paid $1 for it. I got a skateboard deck here, which I'm going to turn into a shield, sort of like a forearm guard, so that it would allow you to both have some protection and be able to use it as a striking surface. So I'm going to put a handle in here and use these already existing holes for the second set of wheels to put a strap on the back for the forearm. That's what I'm going to do with this. We have a chalk. I have a set of ramps for my car, but I didn't have a proper chalk for my back wheel when I'm using the ramps. And I actually have used the ramps. I just put a piece of wood under there, but I prefer to have a functioning chalk, and I think I spent $2 for this, or maybe less than that, at a yard sale. So that was kind of cool. I mean, it's dirty, but it gets shoved under a tire. Who cares? And we have the best thing of the deal, I think, right here. This is an Indian agricultural tool. It's full tang. It's in pretty decent shape. The handle's got some nice patina on it. The blade's not in horrible shape. I need to take a wire brush to it. I need to put a new edge on it. The edge is not great. I'm going to probably have to get a flap wheel with a lower or higher grit so I don't ruin it. I just want to polish up the edge a little. But I paid $15 for this at a flea market. I don't know what this is called. The person actually got it in India while she was there on a trip. I don't know why she thought she needed one. She's never used it for anything. So I'm going to sharpen it up, and I don't know if I'll use it for anything or not, but it's very cool. It's got a really nice heft to it. It's relatively substantial in thickness. It actually has it, and it's hand forged, and it actually has kind of a distal taper, the thickest part being here, and then it thins out towards the tip. So I thought that was kind of cool. So that's been this week's bargain videos. I hope that you folks have enjoyed.